Hi, it's been a long time since I've made a video. It's 6:20 in the morning, so it's going to be a short one because the kids will be up pretty soon. So, I had weight loss surgery in February of 2015, and at that point, you know, my high weight was like 300 something, a little bit over 300, not sure, because I'd been working out before and eating right before I ever got on that first scale. So, I had weight loss surgery in February 2015. Since then, my low weight was 175-ish, but I was really sick then with diverticulitis. My constant weight for the last 9 or 10 months has been about 195, 198. And it seems to be a pretty good weight for me. I still carry abdominal fat, and I work out every day. Almost every day. I do something, but most of the time I hit the gym 5 to 7 times a week. I use the elliptical, and that has completely decreased all of my hip pain. And I lift weights. I'm up to 30 pounds with the straight bar, 20 pounds with the individual barbells, 25 pounds, you know, like behind my head. So I feel like I'm doing really well with that. And I've been kind of plagued with skin problems, from skin on skin, from belly. You know, I've had 6 kids, a lot of belly there hanging down. And I went to a plastic surgeon. I've been thinking about this for a year. And I went to one plastic surgeon, never even saw him. I went into his office, his waiting room was dirty, and I left. Coffee is the elixir of life. So finally, after 3 months, I went to another plastic surgeon who was recommended by my doctor, and I love him, and he's on my plan, and he is what they call an enhanced provider for my insurance. So we talked. He told me he thought a tummy tuck would be best for me. I have opted for just a panniculectomy, which deals with below the belly button. It does not do the rectus abdominis muscle repair. I don't have $4,500 for that. I don't. I just started working about a month ago, contributing now to the family after 17 years of not being a financial contributor, just being like the center tent pole in the family. My husband calls me the glue. So he's become a lot of the glue now. He's pitching in to do things now that I'm not here to do it during the day. So I've been working in the community as an aid for people with intellectual disabilities, helping them with various aspects of their life, and it is extremely rewarding. So I'm having my surgery in 2 weeks, 14 days from today, and it has really come up quickly. I was approved. I had taken with me, okay, step back. I've been documenting my problems with skin eruptions, boils, rashes, and stuff since 2013. Every time it happens, I go to the doctor, I get it looked at. I've used antibiotics and things like that on it topically, prescribed by the doctor. So I had the doctor write a letter to my plastic surgeon, actually to the insurance company. I took with me 7 pages of chart notes that I had printed out. I asked my doctor to do it, but their office never did it, so I did it. Printed those out. I printed out a chart that they had online on my health record that listed my weight from highest to current and showed my stability from the last, like I said, the last 10, 12 months. I've been rock solid within like a 3-pound range. And I took all that to my plastic surgeon. They took photos. They had me stand there. It was really difficult. And they said, now you need to relax and let this belly go as low as it will on its own. It's hard. I've been holding in my belly for decades. And, sorry, my alarm was going off. So I've been holding it in. I have really strong abdominal muscles, you know, sucking this thing in all the time. And I had to just let it go, let it relax, let it droop. And it took 5 minutes for me to emotionally allow myself to be vulnerable enough to let that show to another human being, knowing that not only was my doctor and the nurse going to see it, but I've signed a release to let that be on their website. And the insurance company is going to see it. But I just let it go because I'm ready to let it go. So finally, you know, the doctor had seen this, and then they went in for the photos, and I'm standing there, and at that point I was able to just let out a deep breath and just relax. And she's like, okay, that's the photo. So she took 6 photos, 5 different views, and then I got dressed, and she said, we ought to hear back in a month. I heard back the next day. My insurance had approved it the next day. And I've been praying about this, and I said, Lord, put up every wall that you can if you don't want me to do this, just like I did with the VSG surgery. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but they found a tumor, a benign tumor in the stomach part that they removed. And I told him, block everything you can if this is something that I shouldn't go through. And I don't want to pay anything for this surgery. So if there's a fee for it, I need you to send it out of heaven and just drop it down to me. So I approved within 23 hours from the time I went in. And that stunned me. Okay, so then there's a $400 copay, which I can scrape together, but it would have been a sacrifice, you know, because I just started working. And I checked with my insurance because all the paperwork told me to double check my benefits. And it turns out there is no copay, no deductible, 0. They gave me back my $400. It literally fell out of the sky, you know. So I'm completely okay with going forward. I think that God has got this. I'm in excellent physical health. I know it's going to be a hellish, let's say, 6 months of recovery, swelling up to a year, but I am so ready. There are things on my blog that I've written about that are hard to talk about, and I'm not going to plan to keep this video up for long, but things like when you have something dangling like this, and I don't even know if I can talk about it now, but sometimes in the ladies' room, especially out in public, you know, in my house we have a toilet seat that has a complete ring, but the ones in public that have the split ring, there are times, well, I have to lift the belly now because if I sit down, there are times where I could conceivably pinch it between the toilet seat and the rim of the toilet, which causes a horrible abrasion, burn, bloody mark. You know, it's just horrific. And every time I start getting scared about the surgery, I just lift this up and say, you know what, I'm done with this. Because the more weight I lose, it's not like the overhang gets less. It gets worse. It gets longer. You know, anyway, my sister is a gynecologist, and she told me about a woman who had a very similar thing like this. She told me about this years ago, well before it was my issue. And when they did surgery on her, they actually had to tape her belly up to be able to operate in that area. Yeah, no, that would be me. So 14 days,